Blunder number 1. Many students do not simulate the GMAT experience accurately during their mock tests and believe they will be ready on the final day. It is preposterous to pause your practice test to be able to complete all the questions in time. On the actual test, this often results in students finding themselves caught off guard, anxious or panicking, thus ruining their chances of scoring a 740 plus. Here are 2 things you should start doing in all your mocks to see a sizable difference in your preparedness for GMAT. 1. Play by the rules. Respect the countdown timer. Don't pause it. If your approach is on point, you should be able to finish off all the questions in the stipulated time. Do not extend the time even by a few seconds. 2. Do not check your watch after every few minutes, but set simple but strict rules of completing 8 quant questions in 16 minutes and 9 verbal questions in 16 minutes. You will obviously need a personalized pacing strategy. Reach out to us at Enzo Prep to help you perfect the pacing game. The second blunder: do not act silly about silly mistakes. See, if you've hit a plateau in your score and can't seem to move the needle, here's a very important tip. Analyze the last 25 questions you've practiced and segregate the silly or careless mistakes. First step: knock yourself on the head for calling them silly and not thoroughly analyzing the root cause of those mistakes. People often think that silly mistakes are a one-time affair and they will never be repeated. But nothing could be further from the truth. Do you think that these mistakes will just suddenly vanish on the day of the exam? They're bound to make a comeback. Name the silly mistake for what it is. For example, did you misread or make a calculation mistake? If so, what made you commit that mistake? Were you feeling rushed? Did you lose focus? Are you weak in calculation? Do you realize that each of these reasons require a completely different strategy to tackle the respective silly errors? If you need help with increasing your score, book a 1-to-1 session with me. I've helped people score a perfect 800 and a perfect verbal score. Blunder number 3. Unstructured approach. Knowing what to study for GMAT is never enough for a compelling score. A preparation plan that is not anchored in careful strategies, acute awareness of one's weaknesses and current skill level is one of the worst mistakes any GMAT test maker can make. Without a fixed direction and checkpoints, the efforts are not channelized in the right direction, which may result in burnout and a massive waste of time. If you want to know how to make a structured study plan to get a 740 plus, contact us on Enzo Prep for a 1-to-1 strategy discussion. Blunder number 5. Prioritizing shortcuts over conceptual clarity. Please don't fall for gimmicky approaches floating as techniques on the internet. If you can't logically buy into a thought-out, time-tested approach, then you're better off not using it. The advice that enabled Zoravar to score a perfect score in the verbal section, a verbal 51, was to understand the core of the problem instead of shorthand methods that are not based on logic. Such shortcuts may work on the easier or medium problems, but definitely not on the difficult ones. Reach out to us at Enzo Prep to help you devise a personalized curriculum to address your problem areas effectively. Blunder number 6. Following only the official GMAT guide. Unfortunately, the GMAT official guide is just not enough for a 740 plus. Most of its content is just not challenging enough. Even the solutions provided in the guide are not nearly as detailed and exhaustive as a first-time GMAT test taker might need them to be. Official guide can provide you a good start to your prep, but if you're banking only on it for a high score, you're in for a shock on the exam. It is important to find relevant, hand-picked content that offers in-depth conceptual understanding and the right strategy to solve a question. At Enzo Prep, we have perfected the strategies that help you achieve a 99th percentile score on the GMAT. Reach out to us to get your hands on the content that has allowed people to get a perfect score. Blunder number 7. What worked for your friend might not work for you. Are you already painfully aware of it? A study plan that does not take into account your goals, daily schedule, strengths and weaknesses is a terrible idea. If you don't have the luxury of slogging for 10 hours in a day and using hit and trial to figure out the right approach, then please know there is a much more effective technique. A GMAT study plan needs to be personalized. A customized study plan delves into the subsectional score needed to hit your overall target score, gives a realistic and reliable timeline based on multiple variables, and has well-defined checkpoints based on your pace, strengths, and weaknesses. Lastly, it lays down a study schedule that is most likely to take you to your target score within the stipulated time. The good news is that you don't have to shell out big bucks to get such a study schedule. Get yours for free at Enzo Prep website right now. Head to the link in the bio.